Hi, this is Don Lavange from the lightroomphotographer.com, and we're going to talk about a feature in the Develop module, the adjustment brush. I've chosen a gray image that I made in Photoshop. I'm going to choose the adjustment brush, lights up, and after we click it and panel opens up, we have a new mask that we're going to be working with, and in Lightroom the mask is what we're painting where the effect will be shown. And I've chosen brightness, and we're just going to go brighten this otherwise very gray image, and I've chosen a little bit of brightness. We can pick a new one and perhaps increase that effect, and a new one and decrease the effect. We can also choose any of them. You see the pins. We can turn those pins on and off with the H key. The pin tells us that that's the area where that effect was applied. You can see that red area is the mask that's showing you where the mask is. And if we click it, now we're able to increase or decrease that effect. And in addition, we can hover over it and click on it and increase or decrease by dragging. And that's very cool too. This particular, so let's pick a new one, and this effect, brightness, is not the only effect. There are multiple effects, and in fact we can open this up and choose multiple effects at once. So we could say we need a little bit of exposure increase and a little bit more brightening, and when we do it, that's what we'll get. We additionally have some interesting controls for the brush. We get two brushes we can paint with. So the A brush has a certain size and the B brush has a certain size, so I can choose either of those, and you can use the / key to move back and forth between those. You can also choose an eraser, and the eraser or you can be painting with either of the brushes and hit Alt and get into the eraser. There's also, if we open up here, a little bit more granularity to these brushes. I'm going to really quickly pop over here and start all over again. We've got the size of the brush. This controls the size. This controls feather, flow, and density. And then we'll briefly mention the auto mask. So when it comes to the feather, should be a familiar concept to most people. When we're painting an effect, the feather region is that area where it's applied less than 100% of whatever the settings have called for, less and less until it's no effect. And we can change both the size of the brush and the size of the feather effect by using either the control here on screen, or I like the shortcuts of brackets for the size and shift brackets for the feather. So let's take that feather down to a hard edge, and we've got a nice feather. Similarly, we have a control for both flow and density. They're both cranked up to 100%. So if we do an effect with 100% flow and density, we get that. If we change our flow to be some other number, we get only a portion of that effect. But if we run over it a second time, third time, fourth time, we're getting more and more of that effect in buildup, just like we would with paint. I'm going to move that back up to 100%. Contrast that with density. Density means how much of the effect will ever be built up. So if I have it on 100% flow and only have it at 50% density, that's all I'm going to get. If I choose a new brush and crank my density up, now I get 100% of that effect. Okay, a little more on this auto mask feature. If I have a brush selected and auto mask selected, it makes it so that when I'm trying to select something, I will stay inside the region. Now I've turned the visible mask on with the O key, and I could just as easily turn it off. Sometimes people crank the effect up so they can see the effect while they're painting. I like to use the right amount that I want to use and then use a mask, the visible mask, by toggling that on and off. But I wanted to show you a problem with auto mask. While it did keep things from getting into this region, it prevented it from filling some of these regions. So I'm going to hit backspace there and start again. And this time I'm going to turn auto mask off. I'm just going to try to be careful and stay. You can notice I'm painting way over, but I'm painting 100% of all that I pass over. And then I'm not going to do the whole bottle, but I'll give you the idea here. If now I want to select the erase brush, I might want to turn that auto mask on, because now I can selectively erase where I overwent. So that's how I use mask and auto mask. If I'm trying to paint over something that has a variable background, I'm not going to use the auto mask. On the other hand, if I'm choosing something like this chair here, where there are some nice edges, then the auto mask is useful.